All right, guys, we're back with a good case study. We have a Chrysler 300, and it is a 2009 model. It has the 3.5 liter, and the customer complaint is he'll be driving it, and the lightning bolt, notorious lightning bolt, flashes. And also, there's a misfire. Now, I did drive it and I confirmed that. My concern is the throttle body. These things work off a couple signals. So I pulled up the throttle body data just to see if this thing is acting weird, and I like to step on the pedal and see if we got a clean signal. But let me show you what I'm talking about. If you look here, this is the data PIDs I have pulled up. And look at this one. It's just jumping all over the place. 0 to 4, 0 to 4. So I'm just concentrated on the throttle. So I'll push on the pedal. Right down there's my foot. And we're going to do what they call a sweep. But if you look, that shouldn't be doing that. I mean, I'm not hitting nothing. And you see that? Why is that happening? Also notice the trims are a little off. It's like adding fuel. So I'm going to just step on the pedal slightly and go what they call a sweep. And you see that glitch right there? That should not happen. There's another one. So I'm all the way to the floor and there's glitches on position E. Now that's a problem. So I see a problem there. The trims look a little skewed. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start it up and we're gonna watch these short-term and long-term trims. I might tap on the throttle body and see if this thing goes crazy before we do that. Let's try that little test, the old tap test. We don't have to get so fancy. And let me get a screwdriver, or this will work. And I'm gonna tap here. I don't think it's really making a difference. So that's inconclusive. We'll keep that in the back of our heads. Let's see what's up with these trims too. Okay, so let's start the vehicle. These are our trims. So I'm a little concerned about how high these long-term trims are. Now they're trying to correct. Let's see what happens. It's misfiring now. And that light is flashing. Darn it, I should have pulled up that throttle. Okay, now it's pulled up. Why did it do that? I'm wondering if this has something to do with it, and that is flashing. I do have some codes, but there was a bunch of codes, so I'm going to rescan it here shortly. Because this shouldn't do that. I know that's not good. We're adding almost 20% of fuel. I'm going to tip into the throttle just a little bit. See that here. The trim's kind of straighten up, so that kind of indicates a vacuum leak. So these are not bad. 10% is kind of the threshold. I don't like this. I think we have a vacuum leak, right? Because on a map engine, if you have a vacuum leak, I don't think this has a mass airflow. Let me check. No, it don't. And I hear like this ticking sound coming and going. So on a map engine, if you have a vacuum leak, it thinks you're stepping on, it reads that map sensor and it's trying to add fuel. He seemed to be more concerned about this flashing red light. So I'm gonna go after that first. I'm gonna find out what accelerator pedal position E is, where that wire is. At the accelerator pedal, does it run to the throttle body? That voltage is not correct. Okay, so I did erase all the codes earlier. I didn't film it. So we do have some that came back. Vacuum leak, okay. ABS torque request signal denied, and an HVAC. I'm not even worried about that. I'll look at it, but it's a recirc door not working. Okay, so let me do some research on this code. I want to make sure that wouldn't cause the lightning bolt, which I don't think it will, but I need to check and see. So I just want to roll out, it's not the PVC valve. So I plugged the hole. So this is your fresh air going into the engine. And this is, the tube is back here and it comes around and goes in. So if it's stuck open, it can cause sort of like a vacuum leak condition. That's just something quick I can do. I'm gonna plug it off and see if the trims straighten up. This is just for my own peace of mind before we go down a rabbit hole. It's almost like I hear a vacuum leak in this area. There it is. Let's see. All right, so I hear a vacuum leak. So I got some brake clean. I'm gonna spray it back here and see if he's changed. Oh yeah. So they dropped immediately. So there is a really bad vacuum leak right back here on this hose. And I gotta figure out why. So we gotta fix that first. All right, I'm gonna hook a smoke machine up and we're gonna find out where exactly that's coming out at. I got my smoke machine out. I've taken off the vacuum brake booster hose, which is this one. And I just put on a hose so I can stick my vacuum or my smoke machine hose in it. I've capped off the throttle body and we know there's a leak somewhere back here, but I want to see it. I need to get my camera out to be ready because I know it's going to be back here somewhere. You can see that this thing kind of moves around, so I'm trying to get you the best shot I can. I think it's leaking right there. I don't even know what that is. That's a weird looking gasket, but let's get some smoke rolling. Here comes the smoke. There's the power and the smoke, so we'll stick it in here. Let it fill up the manifold and see where I can see immediately it's coming out right there. All right, there it is. So that gasket around that EGR is leaking bad. So you can see that on the camera. That's a pretty bad leak. That's gonna have to be addressed. But that's gonna have to be fixed first. All right, I'm sidelining the video. There's a lady that got stuck on the road and she had to get a tire put on, and I'm gonna do it for her. She went and got the tire, and I'm not charging her anything because she brung it. Sometimes you just gotta do things for free, especially in emergency situations. I think it's a good practice. I try not to, if it's an emergency, take advantage of anybody. Oh, this ain't a big deal. So if you guys running a shop, sometimes you just do a few things for free like this and they'll remember that. Everything ain't about money all the time. Yes, sir. How are you doing?
You know a fellow by the name of Kevin Mefford, I believe.
Okay, so I took off the whole cowl. You can see it laying there. I got the smoke machine hooked up and it is not leaking. You can see that it's not leaking from around there anymore. There's no more smoke coming from around that seal like it was earlier. So I had to put a new seal on it. What I had to do is take the manifold and push it forward, take this whole cowl off. I didn't record all that, but that's what you got to do so you can get in there. So let's put it back together and see how the trims look. Okay, so we fixed the vacuum leak. I got my scan tool plugged up. Let's see if these trims get any better. If you remember, they was adding 18%. That's not good. And we found a vacuum leak, so we fixed it. Let's see what it does. I like to go into generic because you only need so many PIDs. So OBD2, unless you have to go into factory side, but this kind of issue, fuel air mixture, just go into OBD2. Here's long term, and let's get short term so you can see. Let's see if we fixed anything. I'm gonna start it up. Hopefully these correct. I don't hear that big hissing sound. That's good. So we'll give it a minute. It's probably in closed loop where the engine's cold. Open loop, I mean. There it goes. It's correcting in live action. Look at that. That is proof. It's correcting because it's pulling away what it's adding here. Isn't that beautiful? I love seeing that. So we're trying to balance these out. They call that total trim. 10% is kind of like the rule. You don't want it to be more or less than 10%. So if you subtracted 10 from that, you'd have 9%. So we're already starting to correct. And these take a while to learn. So sometimes you have to drive them. It depends on the year, make, and model. Some years do it quicker, or some brands will do it faster than other brands. It really doesn't matter. But this is a confirmed fixed far as the vacuum light goes. Now, if you remember earlier in the video, we had that lightning bolt come on. And I got to reading a little bit, and this can cause that issue. So you kind of got to fix one thing at a time. When you have cars that have lots of miles and they've been neglected, you can only do one thing at a time, and then see what all it fixes, and kind of prioritize what's most important. And I just love sitting here watching this. This means that, you know, I have done my job. I have fixed the vacuum leak, and that is a value to the customer. So the oxygen sensors are warming up. I'm going to go ahead and kind of tip into the throttle just a little, try to get the engine warm. If you're a young guy watching this, don't work on every make and model. Pick a couple that you like and just stick to those two. It'll save a lot of headache, and you're starting out. That way you just know the vehicle, and you can be a lot more efficient. Yep, it reset them. That is awesome. So I'm happy we did reset them. Let's start it up. And let's just see what happens. I'm going to let it sit here and run for like 10 minutes. Okay, so we'll watch this temperature gauge. And when it gets all the way warmed up, we'll look at these trims. They look okay, but when the engine's cold, it does add a little more fuel. So let's wait till the engine warms up and we'll look at them again. While we're letting that warm up, I have a car out here that they said when you drive it, it's got a bad alignment and it makes some sound. That's really all I got. I'll probably have to call the customer. So I'm going to run this up the street real quick. Take you guys with me. This is how I work, very fast and efficient. Sometimes little Jeep Commander or something. Let's see how this one does. Saying the alignment's bad. So we had a lot of snow here. The alignment's horrible on it. I can let go of the steering wheel and it literally will throw you off the road. Wow. If I let go, whoa. A little bit of snow here. I better slow down. Don't want to hit these cats. There's cats everywhere up here. And you don't want to hit your neighbor's cat, then your neighbor will hate you. And it's kind of shaking a little too. Like if I let go of the steering wheel, you see that shake? That's indicative of a bad alignment. But I'd say they've hit something and bent something, because this just don't happen on its own if you just think logically as a technician. So they've hit something, and a lot of times they'll say they didn't, but this kind of stuff just don't happen on its own without hitting something. But I really feel something like wobbling too, so that tells me that maybe there's a tire. So if you can feel it in your steering wheel, it's usually the front tires. If you feel a wobble in the seat, it's usually in the rear. That's not 100% true, but that'll at least get you in the area that you want to be in. let's take this thing back to the shop. I got a tire shop right beside my mechanic shop, so as long as it don't have a bunch of loose ball joints, they'll line it up. That wobbling like that could be tires too. So we'll see. You don't know till you know. I don't like to guess. I like to test. This ain't part of this video. This is just what I'm doing while that car is warming up. Okay, let's get her in there. Close the door. Let's see what these trims are looking like. It's not all the way warmed up. It's almost. Wow, they look great. Trims look good. So if you take away 2 and add 4, you just got a couple. So it's within the 10% range. Total trim is basically, you just do the math and that's your total trim. If it says -5 and this says 5, then that's 0 and that's your total trim. So that's a fix. I'm going to test drive it and make sure that lightning bolt don't come back on. I don't know if that's related. Earlier in the video there was a voltage on I think it was a pedal position wire that was jumping around. It was making me a little nervous, but I do have that. There really wasn't a code directing me towards that particular circuit. Let's drive this and see how it does. If you ever have to do this job, you take off the whole cowl, the windshield wipers and everything, to get to that EGR valve seal right there. If you don't, you can't get to it. You can't be lazy, you just have to do it. All right, take off my little hood thing so your hood don't fall on your head. Just close it, take it for a test drive, and hopefully that stinking light don't come back on. The lightning bolt. Nobody's here, so I gotta go lock everything up. All right, here we go. See what's going on. I know I drove this thing earlier before we did any repairs and I felt a misfire. Now possible it could be from the vacuum leak. They don't know. I can only fix one thing at a time. Here we go. We're driving. I will turn the camera on if anything eventful happens. Our trims look normal. So all right, so far so good. I've driven it about 5 miles. So for you all learning how to fix cars, what I like to do is turn them off for a second. And the reason I do that, because sometimes they have something called 2-trip detection on the codes, and the engine has to be turned off, then back on, then driven again before it'll trigger a code. So you can Google that and you'll know what I'm talking about. 2-trip detection. So in short, a lot of computers, they'll see a problem and they'll say, hey, I see a problem, but let me make sure I see it again on the next drive cycle, and then I'll turn your check engine light on. So they kind of, they call that 2-trip detection. It's just a good tip for you. Get back on our fuel trims. They still look great. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Let me drive back to the shop and we'll put this car back together. And I think we may be done. So hang in there. One more minute. Let's see if this thing has any problems. Well, that's it, guys. No codes, no nothing. Actually, let me make sure there's no codes, but I'm gonna run it. So there it is. We're back on a test drive and there is no codes in the PCM. That code was already there. So this has been great. If you have this code, it was, I don't know, I'll put it on the screen here. I forgot it's P27 something. It will cause that lightning bolt. So, and it's from a vacuum leak. So thanks for watching. Catch y'all on the next one. Hope you learned something.